Lesson 1.4, write equations and inequalities. Okay, you guys know what an equation is, right? Yeah. Has an equal sign in it. What do you think an inequality is? You just wrote definitions, so maybe you guys can remember. An inequality is going to have what kind of sign on it? What kind of sign is an inequality going to have? Yes, it's going to be one of the less than, greater than. It could also be less than or equal to, greater than or equal to. Okay, so those are all the signs when you're going to deal with an inequality. Okay? An open sentence is an equation or an inequality that contains an algebraic expression. Okay, there's another definition for you. So, make sure you have the key concept. Let's go over it real quick. So when you see the symbol, it tells you its meaning and the associated words when you hear it in a word sentence, what it would say. So an equal sign means it's equal to. The associated words you'll see in like word problems is the same as. Then you have the less than sign. You'll see it say fewer than sometimes. You'll see the less than or equal to sign. It means you can see it written at most or no more than is how they would label that one. You have the greater than sign. You'll see it written as more than. And you have the greater than or equal to sign, which means sometimes you'll see it written with the words at least or no less than this amount. So you'll see these when we start doing the word problems here. So let's look at example 1. They're going to give you a verbal sentence, and they want you to translate it into a mathematical equation or inequality. So for A, the difference of twice a number, K, and 8 is 12. So let's dissect this. What does the word difference mean? Subtraction. Twice a number, K, means we're going to have the letter K. Twice the number K is meaning I'm going to do what? Twice the number K means I'm going to do what? Multiply. Times what? 2, because we want 2 Ks. The difference of twice the number K and 8, so 2K minus 8. And then you see the word is. What does is mean?
12.
What does is mean?
Equal to.
Equal to. And then 12. So now I've just rewritten the verbal sentence into an equation. All right, for B, the product of 6 and a number n is at least 24. Okay, so what's product mean? Multiply. So we're going to multiply 6 and a number n. So you're going to say 6n. And then it says is at least. So what kind of sign is that going to be?
Multiply.
Is at least. Is usually an equal sign. At least means that the answer to this is going to be at least, at minimum, 24. So, but could it be greater than 24? Yes. So you're going to put greater than or equal to 24. Because 6n has to be at least that 24, but it could be larger. If you see no more than, that's when it's going to be the less than sign. But at least means the bottom of that is going to be 24, but it could go higher. That make sense? Okay, let's do C. All right, for this one, it's a compound sentence. A number y is no less than 5 and no more than 13. So where you see the is no less than and no more than, you're going to have two signs here. So we have y, right? A number y. And the first thing it tells you is no less than 5. So what sign is that giving you? That y is what? No less than 5 means y has to be at least 5, right?
Yeah.
So then y is going to be greater than or equal to 5. But then it also says no more than 13. So that means it can't be higher than 13. So y has to be less than or equal to 13. Okay, you see in here how the y is in the middle, and then it says that, see, the alligator mouth is towards the y when it comes to the 5. So y is greater than the 5. But then the alligator mouth is towards the 13, so that it has to be less than or equal 13. Okay, this is a compound equation. Compound inequality, sorry. And that would be your final answer. Any questions on how we did that? All right. So you are going to start seeing where you're going to put solution or not a solution to some of your answers. I believe we did a little bit of this in 8th grade. If you have an equation and they tell you to substitute a number into it, you would need to tell me at the end of it whether the answer is a solution or not a solution. So let's look at example 2. If I have 8 minus 2x equals 2, and they tell you to substitute the 3 in where the x is, so x equals 3. So I'm going to plug that in. 8 minus 2 times 3. Make sure you're writing this in your journals. What is 2 times 3? So then we have 8 minus 6. What's 8 minus 6? 2. Does 2 equal 2?
Yeah.
So then you would say, yes, 3 is a solution. Does that make sense? Questions? So we had our value for x here, and they told you that x equaled 3, so we plugged it in for that space, and then we just solved the left side to see if it would equal the right side. Does that help? All right, so let's look at B. We have 4x minus 5 equals 6. So we're going to check whether the 3 counts. So we have 4 times the 3, we plug that in. And then I just finished rewriting. What's 4 times 3? Joaquin, those are in here if you need one. You probably don't need it for the lesson. So we have 12 minus 5. What's 12 minus 5? 7. Does 7 equal 6? So then I do this little no, and I say 3 is not a solution. Good? All right, look at C. We have 2z plus 5 is greater than 12. So again, we're going to plug in my 3 where the z is. Plus 5 greater than 12. What's 2 times 3? What's 6 plus 5?
11.
Is 11 greater than 12?
No.
So, no solution. All right, 5 plus 3n is less than or equal to 20. Let's plug in our 3. We have 5 plus 3 times 3. What's 3 times 3?
9.
9 plus 5?
14.
Is 14 less than or equal to 20?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's less than. So you would say yes, a solution. Let's look at example 3. Some of these equations you can do in your head, okay? They're going to be short and simple, and you can do them in your head. So, if you have x plus 4 equals 10, think about it. What plus 4 equals 10? 6. So you could just say x equals 6. Now, if I wanted to do the math here, I would say minus 4, and I get x equals 10 minus 4 is 6. But I can look at that and go, if I plug in at 6 there, I know the answer. What if I have 20 minus y equals 8? Well, 20 minus what equals 8? Or think 8 plus something equals 20. So y equals 12. So some of this stuff you'll get to the point where you can do a little bit in your heads. All right, let's look at C. I have 6n equals 42. So this is 6 times n, right?
6 times 7.
So 6 times 7, so we know that n equals 7.
Yeah.
Now see how much faster this is getting now that you can recognize the patterns? So let's look at D. We have a divided by 5 equals 9. So a big number divided by 5 equals 9. Or you could think in your head, to move that 5, I multiply, right?
45.
So what's 9 times 5?
45.
Yep. So you know that a equals 45. And you just solved all of those without really doing much work. Yay! Okay, so for your lesson, most of it, you're going to be plugging in a number. And let me show you how they write. Look at the guided practice down at the bottom, number 2. You'll see they have 9 minus x equals 4, and then they put a semicolon and a 5. What that's saying is I plug this number in where x is and tell you whether it's a solution or not. That semicolon separates the two parts. So I would say 9 minus 5. What's 9 minus 5?
4.
Does 4 equal 4?
Yes.
So then you're going to write solution, because in the instructions it says tell whether it's a solution or not. So I will look for this. If you just end up here, you're not going to get it right. I'm going to actually look for the word solution or not solution. So make sure you read the instructions. All right. I'm not going to do any other examples. I feel like y'all get it. You're doing numbers 4 through 28, but just the evens. So it's actually not a very long assignment. I'm trying to keep them not super long. For the first part, you're just writing the equation or inequality. You don't actually have to solve it. So you're just writing those words into the equation.
Okay.
And then for 17 through 28, the evens, you're telling me whether it's a solution or not a solution. All right, have at it.